Hey folks, welcome back to my Ultramoon Hardcore Nuzlocke. This is episode 122, and in the last one, I had a rematch with both Lana and Mallow. They both had 3 Pokemon each, and this is post-league content only, so you won't be able to face them in a rematch unless you beat the league, and so I did. Now Lana was fairly simple, however Mallow gave me a lot of trouble with her pesky Shinotic. And actually I was in trouble. I had to risk a few crits, I had to risk a few misses, and I actually thought I was gonna wipe there, but thankfully that didn't happen, and I was able to get out of it without any casualties or retirements. So that's cool. Hopefully, that scare doesn't happen again, but that will be contingent upon my planning in the future, which I will do more of, I promise. Today will be a slightly different kind of video. I'm not going to do any battles today. However, I will be doing a few encounters. And I say a few because if you remember, there's about 5 or 6 names left on the wheel, the picker wheel, that I use for nicknaming my Pokemon. These are supposed to obviously correspond to 5 or 6 locations. However, after some looking around, I realized that 4 of those locations are actually the ruins where the individual tapus are found on the island. This poses a problem, of course, which is that all of the tapus are legendary Pokemon and therefore banned from the hardcore Nuzlocke. However, I still want to use the names and I don't want to lose the encounters. So, after careful deliberation, I thought the best way to sort of do this is to get the encounter as a substitute encounter for this area. And as for the areas that I will be getting those encounters, I think the fairest way to go about it is just to go to the closest route corresponding to the conflict. Oh, sorry, to the ruin. I said conflict because I'm actually at the ruins of conflict, which is where Tapu Koko is supposed to be. And so by that principle, I need to go to the closest route to the ruins of conflict and find myself a new encounter over there, which I will then substitute as my encounter for the particular ruin. The same principle will apply to the other ruins as well, and I'll be doing 4 of those encounters essentially, with routes closest to those ones. So, with all of that out of the way, I'm going to do my team recap. So, let's start with a returning champion in Balak the Jolteon at level 61. It's literally a hair's breadth away from 62, I swear. Let's go Volt Switch, Thunderbolt, Signal Beam, and Shadow Ball. Has the Volt Absorb ability, and I've not given it an item. And that's a theme for all of my Pokemon. They don't have any items, because I don't think I need them today. Moving on, second champion in a row today with Kimmich, my Salamence at level 62, with Fly, Dragonclaw, Zen Headbutt, and Crunch, has the Intimidate ability. Following that is Big Whale, Big Goretzka at level 62, the Wailord, with Scald, Hydro Pump, Water Spout, and Bounce, has the Oblivious ability. Maybe the 3rd video in a row now, for Musiala the Noivern, quickly becoming one of my most favorite Pokemon in the squad, level 62, with its fantastic moveset of Draco Meteor, Super Fang, Air Slash, and Boom Burst, and it has the Infiltrator ability. Musiala saved me against Mallow. Next up is a returning Neuer after a long time. He's come back, a level 61, close to 62 I would say, with Steel Wing, U-Turn, Bullet Seed, and Fly. Has the Skill Link ability, which really helps the Bullet Seed hits, and I've given it Citrus Berry because honestly I just forgot it had one and I forgot to remove it, so this one has an item. And finally is my 3rd champion in the team today. This is the man of the tournament, I guess, for my league phase, which was Lewandowski the Volcarona at level 61, nearly 62, with Quiver Dance, Protect, Giga Drain, and Flamethrower, and has the Flame Body ability. You know, I definitely feel like Volcarona should have been a legendary Pokemon. Please let me know if you feel the same. Because if you've played through Black and Black and White 2, especially the latter, you know that this game has Volcarona in a legendary area, and it's supposed to be a legendary Pokemon, in my opinion. The way that they've treated it in that game is very close to a legendary, so I think it should have been one. But hey, you know, I'm happy with it. I'm happy with the fact that it's not one, because then I can use it, and I did. So yeah, I'm just gonna go down Mahalo Trail. I'm basically trying to find the earliest route, like the closest route to the ruins of conflict here. So I'm just going down. I haven't seen any grass yet, no Pokemon that I can actually use. I'm in Icky Town. Okay. And I will be back in Icky Town fairly soon, by the way. That's a little spoiler, I suppose. There is business to attend to in this town. However, I believe the closest route to Icky Town is actually Route 1. So I will be getting an encounter here. Sorry about the camera, let me refocus that. Okay, sorry about that. Let's move forward. Oh, maybe this will be the encounter. Let's see. Oh, I already have this. This is dupe. I think in this area, so the fun thing about Route 1 is that even Route 1 in itself has distinct areas which allow us to get different encounters. What I'm going to do is just see if any of my Pokemon learn the move False Swipe, because that will allow me to catch Pokemon much easier. False Swipe, nobody's able, thankfully. Oh, come on, that's rubbish. Okay, I'm gonna do a Tauros charge here, go down here. Alright, so this is a cool area actually. This is where I've got all of my leftovers, which is to say that, you know, I've found wild Munchlax here before, and so yeah, hopefully I find that, but there's also Bonsly, I believe, in this area. Munchlax is only a 10% encounter here. Again, same rules apply. If I don't get 1 in 3, this is a dupe. If I don't get a Pokemon in 3 direct encounters, I will cut away, and then I will go to the actual encounter when I see it. That's the one problem with duplicate encounters and rare ones as well, is they may not always appear, you know. Hopefully this isn't a Bonsly. Oh, it is! So this is the encounter, everybody. The Bonsly. Oof, this is... Oh, I didn't want to get this, but hey, it is what it is. This is a rock-type Pokemon. It's a baby Pokemon. So... yeah, I'll throw a Great Ball, why not? I have one Quick Ball, but I didn't want to use it, so... there it is. The Bonsly has been caught. Well done. One Great Ball, eh? Balak gains the point, as does everybody else. So, unfortunate that we don't get the Munchlax. That would have been cool, but hey, duds happen, duds occur. That's what we'll do. So I'm just going to show you the Pokedex entry. I imagine I'm not going to use this thing very much, but we'll see. So Bonsly is the Bonsai Pokemon. It's pure rock type, height of 1 foot 8 inches, and it weighs in at 33.1 pounds. So pretty chunky for its size, but still, if its body gets too damp, it will die. So the process reminiscent of sweating, its eyes expel moisture. That's so fun. It will die. It's so funny. I don't know why, but cool. You know what this means. I'm gonna whip out the wheel real soon, so yeah, hang on for that. I'll be back when I whip out the wheel. Okay guys, the wheel is back. 6 names left, aka 6 encounters, and then it will be all over. So sad. So savor these last few names, one of which will be given to my encounter on the ruins of conflict in air quotes, which is Bonsly. So yeah, without further ado, time to spin the wheel. Who shall we get? This is going to be very close. And we get Jerome Boateng, which is funny because, of course, Bonsly is a rock type, and Boateng was a rock of a centre-back. He is one of the most legendary players or decorated players at Bayern Munich in the recent history that we've had. He played for us for a whole decade, from 2011 to 2021. He's, of course, a centre-back, sometimes played right-back, but primarily a centre-back. He was a pretty good passer of the ball and had decent skills. He had good foot skills, so he was very much the modern centre-back that you see now, who has got much better technique and great passing ability. Very much, that's quite common now, but I think this guy is more of a pioneer in that department where he had both of them. He also played for Manchester City before us, and he won an FA Cup title with us. However, he made 365 appearances for Bayern Munich, and in that time, this man won literally everything. And by that, I mean everything. He won 9 Bundesliga titles back to back until 2021. He also won 5 DFB Pokals, 2 Champions League titles, by the way, in 2013. He was in both the 2013 squad and the 2020 squad, both of which won the Champions League, and actually the treble seasons for both of them. So he was part of the squad for both. Also won the Club World Cup in both of those years and the UEFA Super Cup in both of those years, in 2013 and 2020. And then one of if not the crowning achievement of every footballer's career, this guy won the World Cup in 2014. So yeah, highly decorated. Despite that, I think most casual fans, especially the Barcelona and Real Madrid people, they remember him for falling over when Messi bamboozled him and then scored against us that one time. But it's okay. We got ours back with the 8-2. So go fuck yourself. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding, all right? But cool. I guess the Rock is going to be named as Boateng. And I think this kind of breaks the theme that I've got going with my strikers being named for defensive Pokemon, and offensive Pokemon being named after defenders, because this one is a defensive Pokemon being named after a defender. So I guess that's another thing to note. But before I waffle your ear off, I'm gonna go and give the nickname, and I'll be back when I do it. So yeah. Okay, the Bonsly has been named as Boateng. So let's rip the band-aid off and see what we're working with in terms of stats and everything. Impish nature, probably the best nature he could have got. Plus defense minus special attack. This thing is supposed to have its highest stat as its defense, so that's fairly good. I'm very happy with that. Yeah, I know it says Route 1, but count this as my Ruins of Conflict encounter. And let's look at the moveset and the abilities. So the moveset, of course, it's only at level 12, so it's going to be pretty piss poor, but it's still got Copycat, Flail, Low Kick, and Rock Throw. And actually probably has the best ability it could have, which is Rock Head. It depends on the moveset that I'll be getting from this thing, but Rock Head is a great ability because it protects the Pokemon from recoil damage. So you know how there are moves like Double Edge and Flare Blitz and Wild Charge and Head Smash and stuff like that. They do recoil to a Pokemon when they actually hit, and they are very high damage moves, so that's the drawback of them. Rockhead negates that, so it's just there's no problem with just using those moves. You can spam them as much as you want. And I think Bonsly Bonsly's evolution rather, gets Head Smash, which is stab on this thing. I don't know whether that's a level up moveset or something. I really hope it is. It probably isn't, but if it is, and I can teach this thing Head Smash, Oh my god, that's gonna do disgusting damage. Oh, that's gonna be cool if I can actually get that tech to run. But, cool. I'm gonna send this to the PC. And we will welcome Boateng with open arms into the box. Go on the bench, mate. Alright. So that's done now. I think we need to move to the next ruin. So, yeah, let's go to Akala Island and to the ruins of life. Here I am at the ruins of life. This is where Tapu Lele would supposedly be. However, I cannot use Tapu Lele, so I'll be finding the nearest route to this area, which is the Akala outskirts. This is where I caught Kane as an encounter. So I think what I'm gonna do is do a fishing encounter, because last time, before I got Kane, I actually wanted to do a fishing encounter to catch a Chinchu, but I couldn't get it because, you know, it's like a 10% or... It's supposed to be a 30% encounter rate in the rippling water, as you will see. You can see the rippling water on the extreme right of your screen now. But I couldn't find it, so I just gave up and I decided to go for a different encounter. And I found Kane. But this time, I'm not going to lose patience and I'm going to get the Chinchu. That will be a good addition to the team because my electric type coverage is sorely lacking and I need something in that department. So yeah, I'm gonna do this fish spot here. Both of them are rippling, which is actually a very good sign. Doubles our chances of getting the Chinchou. No bites. Why no? Why no bite? You have to bite. Did the bite? Okay, please be Chinchou. Is the only one I can really get. Okay, it's not. Beckenbauer's brethren. R.I.P. Beckenbauer. Okay. Not gonna hurt you. I have too much respect for Beckenbauer to do that. Okay. No bites. Chinchou. I don't know how to pronounce this thing. Jeez, I've played Pokemon for how long, and I still don't know how to pronounce some of those guys. Oh, I got an item. Oh, well. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna redo this and re-roll this until I get Chinchou, and I'll be back when I'm actually facing one. So, yeah, stay tuned. I'll be back very soon. Okay, everybody, the Chinchou is here. I'm gonna call it Chinchou. Alright, cool. Finally. Now, I would ability check this guy, because Chinchou does get Volt Absorb sometimes. I could also get Water Absorb. But if it has Water Absorb, I'm just going to KO it if I use an Electric type move. So I'm not going to take that risk. I will ability confirm at a later time. But you can do that yourself. If you have a Pokemon with like a Thunder Wave or something, you could do that here. I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to chuck a... What am I going to chuck? I'll guess our Dive Ball is good, right? This is a Water-type Pokemon under the water. So we chuck Dive Balls. I should have chucked a Lure Ball. Lure Ball is actually the perfect one for a fishing Pokemon. But regardless, we get the Chinchou. Balak gains the points. Still hasn't leveled up. Don't know what it's going to take. But the Pokédex data will be added now. This was supposed to be Kane, but it's not Kane. Alright, cool. Let me show you the Pokédex entry. So, Chinchou is the Angler Pokemon. It's Water and Electric type, as I mentioned. Has a height of 1 foot 8 inches. Same as Bonsly, I thought. Interesting. Very similar. Weighing in at 26.5 pounds. Chinchou blink their shining antennae at one another to claim the respective turf. Oh, damn, I didn't know there was turf war going on between these guys. Gang Wars Chinchou edition. But I'm gonna give it a nickname, so the wheel will be out once again. Second time in the video, and may not even be the last, so yeah, stay tuned, I'll be back in a second. the second time in this video, the wheel is now back. And this one is to get the name for the chinchou that I caught in Ruins of Life. Once again, heavy air quotations. And yeah, I'm gonna spin the wheel. 5 more names left, of course. All of them are good, so anything will go well. It's Luis Diaz, everybody. Luis Diaz is the newest signing of Bayern Munich. He joined us literally the start of this season. And I would say, so far, maybe this is me being biased, but he is the signing of this season across all competitions, across all teams, all leagues, everything. This guy is a monster. We signed him for £65 million. He's a 28-year-old Colombian international. He signed for us from Liverpool after going through essentially a great period of about 4 or 5 years where he won everything. He had 150 appearances with Liverpool, and he scored a bunch of goals. He's a winger, by the way, a left midfielder, left winger, and yeah, an absolutely saucy player. You know, he's like a pit bull. He never stops coming, and he is very, very good at hounding down defenders, tireless runner, but also bags of technique. And he scored absolutely fantastic goals for us this season. I doubted him when he first came to Bayern because I thought, why pay so much money for a 28-year-old? But he's been a revelation. So far, he's had 21 appearances in a Bayern shirt, and he has scored 12 goals and got like 7 or 8 assists. So essentially a goal contribution a game, which is insane, especially for a player who just joined the team. The most memorable, I would say, is the 2-1 win against the current European champions, PSG, or as I call them, Pedology, because they just, you know, they're funded by the government of Qatar, and they've signed half the world, including Mbappe and Neymar and everybody, who have now left, but, you know, still, they have so much money, so I call them Pedology. They just buy up everybody. And Diaz defeated them essentially by himself. We beat them 2-1 in the game, but it could have been like 5 or 6-0. Luis Diaz scored 2 goals in the first half in that game, and then somehow the referee decided to give him a red card for a tackle against Achraf Hakimi, and he got sent off. So he scored 2 goals and got sent off in the same game, in the same half. Second half, you know, we had 10 men, so we couldn't quite keep up the same kind of pace, but we defended excellently against the current reigning European champions, sextuple winners, you know, so crazy good performance from the team. But the catalyst of that win was Luis Diaz. In addition to that, he's come up with some clutch moments against teams like Union Berlin, or I should say Union Berlin, where he scored an absolute screamer of a goal, one of the goals of the season. And yeah, that earned us a draw that kept us undefeated in the Bundesliga, which we still are. So thanks to Diaz, we continue our streak. I really hope that the chinchou and possibly the lantern that I get after this will live up to half of what Diaz has been doing so far. So really happy with this. I'm going to nickname the chinchou as Diaz, and then I will show you what's up with its stats and everything. But until then, stay tuned. Okay, guys. Chinchou is now Diaz. I'm going to look at the summary and see what we have. He is relaxed nature, so plus defense, minus speed. Not bad. Lantern is usually very slow. And I have some bad news. Okay. I have some bad news. So, of course, level 23 with Water Gun, Confused Ray, Bubble Beam, and Spark. However, we got the shit ability. We lost the ability lottery as we got Illuminate. Water Absorb, I think, is a ROM hack thing, but it definitely gets Volt Absorb. However, this guy has Illuminate, which raises the likelihood of meeting Pokemon in the wild. It's a useless ability in battle. It does nothing. At least with Water Absorb or Volt Absorb, I can actually get an immunity to a move type. It's okay. I think Diaz will illuminate the box and it will illuminate our run. Sorry. Let's send it to the box as well. I will train these guys off camera, of course. However, I won't evolve them off camera. I will evolve them on camera, so don't fret. I will do that as I normally do. I haven't missed an evolution and I will not start now. Okay, time to go to area number 3. Let's go to Ula Ula Island and to Route 12. Sorry. This is the reason I'm on Route 12 and not at the ruin itself. Actually, I should go through Tapu Village. It's easier. Because the next ruin is actually something I haven't technically reached. The ruins of... Is it Hope? No, it's Ruins of Abundance. The Ruins of Abundance is where Tapu Bulu is. However, I haven't reached it yet technically because I got lost. But I do know this, that the Ruins of Abundance is closest to Haina Desert. So this is where I will be getting the encounter. Now, maybe I'm gonna delay this because I just got an idea. Haina Desert sometimes has a sandstorm. And in the sandstorm, you can get different kinds of allies. And there's an ally Pokemon I'm really interested in. So I'm actually gonna skip this one for now. I may even do this next video depending on how long this video is gonna be. I'm just gonna go to the Ruins of Hope on Pony Island. And I'll get the encounter there. That might be the final encounter of the video because it seems to be running a little long. So here I am at the Ruins of Hope, the home of Tapu Fini. However, I will say goodbye. Tapu Fini has no hope of being on this team. See what I did there? However, there's the Pony Breaker Coast. This is the area where I'm going to get the next encounter. Now there's 2 Pokemon that I'm actually interested in. Let me fix the camera, sorry. So, the first encounter, of course, is the main one I want, which is Lapras. That's obtained by surfing in here, but it's only a 5% encounter. There's also another Pokemon I'm interested in here, and that's an ambush encounter, which is Dragalge. I would prefer Lapras, but Dragalge is pretty decent. Remember, this is where I caught Goretzka the Whalmer, or the Wailord now. However, there is a dud encounter here, and it's very common. It's a 25% chance to get Lumineon. That would be a real shame, wouldn't it? I'm gonna ride the Pokemon, see what I get. I actually don't want to use Lapras here. I want to use Sharpedo so I can break some of these rocks. Okay. Looks like I'm gonna face the ambush. If this is Dragalge, I'll take it. It's Wilma. Never mind. Duplicate. False flag. Let's move. Goodbye, Wilma. Sorry, Goretzka. You ain't coming. I already have a Goretzka. My Goretzka's better than yours. Oh, you got me. Try to avoid it. Oh, it's a Wailord. It's a straight up Goretzka clone. It's still gonna give me a lot of points, but I don't want to risk anything. I'm just gonna run away. I don't really care. Live on, Goretzka's brethren. Okay. I don't think there are any more ambush encounters, so I might have to just roll for the 5% Lapras here. I'm much more likely to get Lumineon. What? Oh, please don't be Lumineon. It's Gastrodon, okay. Duplicate. That's Muller, everybody. Sorry, Muller's brethren. Muller's sister, or Muller's wife. Could be Lisa. Go back. Alright, if I don't get it this time in the ambush for the Dragalge, or I don't get a Lapras, I'm gonna skip until I get one of those two. So yeah. Who are you? Still the big whale. Or the small whale in this case. Alright, Balak. Sorry about that. Run away. I'll give this 3 more tries, right? So 1, this is the first one, a surfing Pokemon, and another ambush encounter. Who do we get? Nope, still Wilma. Still Wilma. Okay. It is what it is, I guess. Surfing encounter to see if I get something. Lapras, Lapras, Lapras. Say it with me, come on, please. Please be Lapras. My Sharpedo is going crazy right now. Look at the drifts. Fast and Furious Sharpedo edition. You know what? I'm just gonna cut, and I will come back when I actually get an encounter. Okay, lads, it's Dragalge. I finally found something. It was 10 minutes. Wow, look at the female representation today. All 3 encounters have been female today. Females represent. This thing has good special defense. But I'm still not fully... I guess I can Volt Switch. That should not kill it. It really shouldn't. Yeah, this thing has Titanic special defense as well, so... I'm gonna switch into... Who do I switch into here? Maybe Goretzka? It's the bulkiest, I think. At least in terms of... Actually, you know what? Wailord is not the bulkiest Pokemon. It just has very high HP. Guz does go for Toxic. Oof. That ain't good. That's not good. Goretzka is... I caught Goretzka right here and, you know, hopefully it doesn't go down here. I'm gonna use an Ultra Ball. I don't care. Where's my Ultra Ball? Ultra Ball. There we go. No, I haven't got a crit capture in quite some time now. Rats. Toxic. I'll have to switch out at some point. Fairly soon, I would think. I'm going to use a Roto Power for catch. Because this is just catching, so I don't really mind it. And I can't fail encounters, right? So, Aqua Tail. Toxic is going to start racking up damage now. I think next turn I'll have to switch out. Probably ripped. I should have probably ripped like a bounce or something. There's the win. There we go. Roto catch assisted. Dragalge has been captured. Goretzka gets the point, as does everybody else. So let's add this data to the Pokedex. This is a fairly decent Pokemon. Another poison type, which is good for the depth in that department. And yet another dragon type. I have a ton of them now, thankfully. Jeez. I'm swimming in dragon types. Let's look at the Pokedex entry of this guy. So, Dragalge is the mock kelp Pokemon. It's poison and dragon type, so it's very unique and cool typing. It's neutral to fairy, think about that, as a dragon type, which is cool. Height of 5'11", so Tinder 6 foot, and weighing at 179.7 pounds. It blends in with seaweed to ambush its prey and then takes them down with a poisonous liquid strong enough to melt metal. I wonder why it didn't get the corrosion ability then. That would have been cool to work into the Pokedex entry. But okay, cool. Also, by the way, Dragalge got a Mega Evolution in Legends ZA, so yeah. If this was that game, I'd be even more hype because it's got Mega. But whatever, I'm just gonna whip out the wheel, probably for the last time this video, and yeah, I'll see you when I do that. The wheel is back for the third and final time in this video. I don't think I've ever brought the wheel out 3 times in the same video, so this is a first for me as well. But this is for the encounter at the Ruins of Hope. Once again, air quotations if you didn't get it. And this is for the Dragalge that I caught for it, so yeah. Let's spin the wheel, find out what we're working with in terms of the names. There's only 4 left now, so... Of course it's going to be the future of Bayern Munich, the absolutely brilliant youngster Lennart Karl, or as I call him, Lenny, affectionately. Lennart Karl just joined us this season. He is the replacement for Leroy Sané, because Sané left for Galatasaray, and I didn't know who we were going to replace Sané with. I was hoping for Rafael Leao or Rodrigo or something cool like that. But then suddenly one day I saw Lennart Karl on the pitch, and I thought to myself, what is a spotty teenager who's 17 years old doing on the pitch with all of these greats and these behemoths like Kane and Kimmich and everybody else? And to my surprise, this kid scored a goal. And I was very surprised, and I was like, wow, this is amazing. But Lennart Karl, 17 years old, has scored 6 goals for us already. He's a generational talent. He plays like Franck Ribéry almost. He reminds me of Ribéry and a little bit of Robben as well. He's a winger and an attacking midfielder sometimes. But he has been a revelation for us. An absolutely brilliant one for the future. He's from the academy, of course. He's an academy graduate from Bayern, so he's another one of our latest incredible youth products. You know, Musiala was the last great one, and now we have Lennart Karl. We have some others coming up too, but I think he is genuinely the one that could become world class. This guy is incredible. People talk about Lamine Yamal, but Lennart Karl, don't sleep on this boy. He's a German player, but he's not a German international yet. I think he will be soon. He might be in the World Cup squad. He's fantastic. So yeah, he scored goals for us. Even we've lost we lost against Arsenal, for example, in the Champions League, but Lennart Karl scored for us. He's been a great player, and I'm so glad that I'm going to be actually able to use this guy. But yeah, I'm going to name the Dragalge as Karl, and then I'll come back when I do it. Alright guys, I finally named the Dragalge as Karl. And so let's look at Karl's summary. Let's see what we're working with again. Minus defense plus special defense. Okay. I mean, it's kind of good, but also kind of shit, because it's gentle nature. I keep forgetting those defense and special defense ones, but yeah, okay. This thing has high special defense. It has a base 123 special defense. So with the 10% increase, it's actually got base 135 special defense. However, its physical defense is severely lacking now because it's only got like a base 67 physical defense. And that sucks, which means now it's got like a base 60 special defense, which is terrible. Okay, well, I might have to train this in PhysDef and then see maybe that's how I could round out its defenses, because this is a defensive Pokemon, of course. Okay, that's a mixed bag. I have to think about this. But look at the moveset right there with Toxic, Aqua Tail, Sludge Bomb, and Hydro Pump. So it's weird, it's a Poison and Dragon type, but it's got Water type moves, which can kind of help. I mean, this thing has a decent base 97 special attack, so it can do some good damage. It does have a useful ability in Poison Touch. However, its physical attack is not great, and Poison Touch, for those of you who don't know, may poison a target when the Pokemon makes contact. If I use special attacks with Dragalge, I'm not going to be able to get my value out of Poison Touch. For that, I have to use physical moves, but it doesn't do enough damage with physical moves, so I'm in a sort of a quandary here. Damn, this Pokemon is spinning my head. But I guess I'm just going to send it to the box and I'll train it and everything. I'll think about what I should do with this. But yeah, that's what we get for our Ruins of Hope encounter. That's 3 out of the 4 ruins now have substitute encounters. And so, yeah. I think I'm going to send it to the box, of course, and I think I'll end it there. It's been a while, so... Oh, look at the water is orange as well, so it's late in the day. Time for me to go. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. Goodbye. Take care. And I'll see you in the next one.